Thanks. I'll be quick. This is more of an internal thing. It's not ready to be used and likely won't be for a little bit of time. But yeah, so DBT stuff. There's this route that is hidden when you go into the connection settings that some people use for debugging purposes, where you replace the URL with /debug, and it gives you some information about DBT stuff. There's sort of a new and improved version of it, and it's the beginnings of a DBT IDE. You can access it right now by, if you just saw what I did, get rid of the URL from IDE onwards and replace it with DBT. And now you can see the contents of the DBT repo. Be forewarned that this is slow. Every time you do something, it's doing a full Git clone of the repository. It's quick because I'm using a very small Git repository, but for some customers in prod, I've seen it, any sort of expanding of a directory or opening of a file can take 10 plus seconds. But at the moment, this is just for debugging purposes. We can now access any file we want rather than just the specific macro and DBT project that I was pulling in before. And yeah, this is kind of laying the foundation for what will eventually be a more full-fledged DBT IDE. That's it.
Very cool.
That's super exciting, Buck.
That's awesome.
Hey, Buck, you reminded me of something that I did this week, and I'm just curious, these large repositories, is that because people are using mono repos or just they have a ton of stuff in their DBT repo?
The ones that I saw were mono repos.
Okay, well, I'll just plug a feature that I released on Monday that we might want to take advantage of in the DBT space too to speed things up. So I landed, we had a customer that had a really large repo that we were having problems with, and we actually still having some problems with it even after my stuff landed, but I think that they're going to try again next week, and we've got a fix for that. But I introduced a new feature flag called sparse checkout, and so you can now actually specify what subdirectories of the Git repository you want in the work tree, so that we're not cloning and checking out files that actually we don't care about if people are using mono repos. So it might be something that we want to look at implementing for your DBT repos as well.
Buck, how close is that to in the product?
The version that I just showed that's slow and everything is in the product now. That's all in prod.
Okay.
A more full-fledged version is TBD. We may be going in sort of a different direction for the next work that's not focusing on the IDE. So yeah, that's where
I just like for the SEs, I think from like a demo perspective, that would be really, really nice to show in just a demo workflow. So it's like in the same way that we showed the DBT metadata in the model, I think just showing that you can just view DBT sort of like objects and transformation in Omni is really powerful.
Buck, can you share the short version of what the next steps are? Whether there or elsewhere on the DBT?
Yeah, I think the most immediate, like the most obvious next step are making it functional speed-wise through a combination of what Conrad was just saying, as well as like caching file contents and directory structures. And then it's, I mean, what would be great is if this got combined with the DBT workbook stuff where you could actually execute models here rather than needing to go into a workbook. But yeah, that's roughly what I have in mind.